Please be advised that Little Miss Recap contains adult language.
When my grandmother said, "You have such a beautiful face."
Oh,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm,
I've
yeah.
had a very beautiful face for a lot of my life.
Me
Yeah,
too, me
it's
too.
great.
Hi everyone, welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where we trauma dump and call it love.
Yeah, we do.
Wow, a lot of therapy speak on this season too.
These kids have read a lot of Brene Brown.
Mm.
They've done a lot of Instagram therapy, I think.
That's more like it. TikTok
Yeah.
therapy, Instagram therapy. I don't know if they're reading Brene Brown.
No, but they know
Only
who she
like
is.
our generation is reading Brene
Probably.
Brown.
They at least know who she is because they've seen her quotes.
Maybe they grew up watching a lot of Dr. Phil.
Oh, probably.
Mhm.
Dr.
Like,
Phil.
These guys are they're in Houston. So,
They are in Houston, yes. They
you
could
know,
go
native.
visit Queen Brene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bless.
We're talking today, guys, about Love is Blind, season 5, episodes 1 through 4. So
Yes.
we'll do an episode for every dump, as we
Yep.
call it, and this is dump 1. So pleasant.
It sounds so much dirtier than it actually is, but okay.
I'm your host, Amy Archer, and I'm here this morning with the lovely, the amazing, the multi-talented, the sauce to my meatball, Amanda Lipnack-Radel.
That's a lot. I don't know if I could deliver quite that much at this hour, but I'm going to do my best as we have literally our coffee and we talk about Love is Blind. We're having coffee talk today. Coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
What was her name? Linda
Richmond.
Yeah.
And in this era, it's actually appropriate because the Holy Roman Empire was neither Holy Roman nor an empire. Discuss. Sort of like apparently all men think about the Roman Empire.
Yeah. What a world. What a world we're in.
What a world.
Where TikTok dominates our cultural discussion constantly.
Right, exactly.
So today we're going to talk about episodes 1 through 4. If you have not seen them and do not want to be spoiled, shut this off.
Right. Get yourself to the Netflix. Get yourself caught up because we're talking about these people in total of what we know about them through 4 episodes.
Yes.
And we know a lot about these people because they're all emotionally slutty.
They're all emotionally slutty, and there's a lot of like, what's your biggest trauma? What's
Right.
your trigger? Yeah, there's a lot of that.
What is the worst thing that's ever happened to you? Can you tell me now before we've even met?
Now, Amanda, let me ask you a question. You've dated way more recently than I have. The last time I
Correct.
dated was probably about 18 years ago.
Okay.
Do people talk like this now? Is this a thing?
More than you would think it is.
Okay.
But it's also a red flag because, again, this comes back to my emotional sluttiness.
Okay.
So I went through, I think I mentioned this on another podcast. I went through a coaching program in 2019 to try to figure out why all of my relationships were garbage because I was the lone common denominator. And what I realized.
How insightful of you, by the way.
Thank you.
A lot of people aren't like, oh, there's a common denominator here.
And it's me. Me.
I'm
the problem. It's me. I was the problem and it was me. So I took a year off and I did the work. And one of the things I discovered though is I was not emotionally available, but I was emotionally slutty. So, hi, we're on our first or second date. I'm going to tell you all the bad things about me so that you know what you're in for. If you're going to reject me, let's do it before I catch feelings.
You pulled a Johnny.
And I pulled a Johnny. And so I would just dump all my stuff. And I thought that was emotional availability.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
And you probably thought that was creating an emotional bond.
Right. Yeah. We were bonding. This is how we're going to fall in love with each other.
And if I feel like I can tell you these things, then it must be real.
Right. And if I can tell you these things and you don't run away, all the better. All the better. And so that's what all of these young people are doing.
Yeah, that's interesting. So what was like the solution to that? Like what was the aha moment, not to quote Oprah, aha moment?
Yes. There was a couple of things. One, it was realizing that people need to earn that level of intimacy.
Okay.
You don't give that to a stranger. They have not shown you that they are worthy of your story.
By the way, I'm asking, how do you fix that for a friend?
Okay. Got it. Second of all, You have to be vulnerable with people, but appropriately vulnerable. I had to realize the one of the ways in which I was emotionally unavailable is I was hyper independent.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I had to like give people opportunities to love me and care for me
Mhm. Mhm.
because a way of keeping people out is saying I don't need anybody.
True. True. Okay.
So yeah, I
You just
was
described my mother.
okay. There we are.
Let's
There we are.
unpack that.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So let's jump into this shit show, shall we? We're gonna kind of I ripped off a summary from like some website where they just give a very brief
Okay.
overview of what happened to each couple, and then I guess we'll just dive in and we can just mismatch and throw people in as we think of them. Okay.
Agreed. Before we do that though, so what do you think overall of this thus far?
Oh my god, I was just gonna ask you the same freaking question. Jesus, we've been doing this too long.
Yeah,
Um, I think it's great.
I
Now,
love it.
here's the
It's
thing.
messy.
Usually by the end of season or by the end of episode 4, they're in Mexico already.
Yeah. We're not
So
even
I
all out of the pods yet.
and I have discovered about this show, I was talking to Jenny about it, my sister. I think what I like with this show is I love the pods. I
Yes, I
love
do too.
seeing who's gonna hook up with who and try to predict and blah blah
Mhm.
blah. And the messiness of the thruples and
Yep.
fouruples and quadruples.
Fruples.
And so I do like that. And then I like the end. So I feel like I need episodes 1 through 4 and then 7 and 8.
And then the weddings. Well,
Yeah,
I got
I'm good without the family shit and
yeah,
boring.
I got really worried though because I was looking at it on Netflix and it said this season was only 10 episodes and I was like, "Oh shit, the other ones are like 14, 15, 16." I'm like, "Oh, that includes all the like after
Mhm.
the
After
altar
the
and
altar.
the tell all and all that." So I was like, "Phew."
Yeah,
Okay.
it's always 10 episodes because
Okay.
it's
That
1
makes me
through
feel better because
4
and then
and
I
then
thought about it and realized it, but at
yeah.
first I panicked. I was like, "Oh god, do all of these people just implode so we don't even have a whole season? Like what is happening here?"
Next will be 5 through 8. It'll be like I call it the
Mexico and
honeymoon, but it's the trip.
right.
And then moving in together, meeting the parents, which I can't wait to lay eyes on JP's parents because I have a feeling I know what they're like.
I can't wait to lay eyes on Lydia's family.
Oh, yikes.
Woo!
Okay.
Or
Let's
Johnny.
talk about JP and Taylor while we're here because they're
Okay.
boring and we're gonna get them out of the way.
They're so boring.
So firefighter Jared, aka JP,
Jared.
immediately connected with Taylor, a teacher. They hit it off. Taylor can't cook, but he can. It's they're boring.
They are
Um
incredibly boring.
One thing that he did talk about was his mother taking out her anger on his sisters,
Yeah. That
which
was
was kinda dark.
dark.
Yeah.
That was dark.
Yeah, and, they call each other sugar butt. That's all I really have. And we do see them meet. What'd you think of their
Yes.
meeting?
I thought they were both so freaked out, and I don't think they're into each other.
I don't think she's into him.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you don't think he's into her? I think he's punching above his weight there.
He is punching above his weight, but that doesn't mean he's into her.
That's true. That's true.
Um, it wasn't quite as bad as when Arena and Zach met on the last season when she was like,
Yeah.
"You are the most revolting person I've ever seen in my life, get away
Yeah.
from me." It wasn't that level,
Right.
but there's something off.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just a quiet, awkward guy.
He is.
And she's like, "Mm," and she even said, "I'd never date someone with those teeth." Whoa.
Well, we're going straight to the mouth hole situation,
Yeah, the fact that she
yikes.
was immediately like, zooming in on that mouth hole,
Yeah, not good.
that's
I
not
I
good.
didn't notice anything bad about his teeth, but I wasn't paying attention either.
He has, like, he's not our age. I was gonna say, like, every kid in the '70s, but he's not our age. He has the little gap. You
Oh,
know, his family probably couldn't afford braces. I have a
oh,
gap, Timmy has a gap.
yeah.
Our kids had gaps until I put Invisalign on them. I mean, it's a thing. It's a
It's a
thing.
thing. Okay. That
So,
okay.
do
We're
you
not
think
we're not talking like a love is lockup love after lockup situation.
No,
No, they're just a
no,
little crooked.
no.
Girl, get over
Yes,
yourself.
but I don't know, the sugar butt stuff is weird to me.
Okay. It's
Okay,
sugar
let's talk
butt.
about it.
Sugar butt. So my first husband and I both called each other honey bunny. We spelled it differently.
Okay. I'm
Our
not
friend
judging. Mm.
our friend yeah, except you are. Our friends called us the Honey's Bunny or the
Okay.
Honey Bunnies.
Okay.
So that was kinda cute, but Sugar and
Was it
Sugar
though,
Butt,
Amanda? Was it?
it felt cute at the time.
Okay. Okay. How old were you?
26,
Okay. All right.
27.
Okay. I'll allow it. I'm
Okay,
allowing
I
it.
wasn't
Okay.
50. I wasn't
Okay.
50.
I almost had to pull out.
Oh, no.
It's
Oh, no.
Shame.
It's not that bad.
Shame.
It's not Cody
not
Brown
like
level
Amy
bad.
saying Sarper was nice.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Yeah, no,
Okay. So
Harper's not.
honey
So, yeah,
bunnies. Go ahead. Honey's
Honey's Bun
bunny.
Honey's Bunny, and it was cute, and all of our
I
friends
like
thought it was
Honey's
lovely.
bunny. I think that's cute.
Yeah, the Honey's Bunny,
Yes.
'cause I feel very strongly when people say, like, things like attorneys general, it's like,
Me
"No!"
too. I love it.
Or attorney generals.
I know, but
When
I
people say
love when people try to do that stuff.
I
It's,
know.
it's amusing to me.
It
Anyway.
is, me too. Grammar jokes for the nerds here that we are. Damn, this is this is what we laugh at.
Mm-hmm,
Grammar.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
Mothers-in-law.
mothers-in-law,
Mm-hmm,
exactly.
mm-hmm.
Exactly. There's no mother-in-laws. It's not multiple laws.
No,
It's
no.
multiple mothers.
Yes.
Anyway, long story short, it's Sugar and Sugar Bud is about as emblematic of the boringness of these two.
Okay.
This is as interesting as it gets, is Sugar and Sugar Butt.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
And they're
I
just not
just
into each other.
I just don't see it. I don't see it lasting. Now, in the preview, we saw them having a little trouble in Mexico where she's saying, I didn't know what you looked like then, or something like that.
Right, right. So,
Yeah.
yikes.
Yep.
She's got the ick.
Okay, let's scoot over to Izzy, your guy.
Whew,
He is not
so
he's not my type.
Oh, he's not my
Mm-mm.
type. He's not my
Mm-mm.
normal type at all. Well,
Mm-mm.
as I was watching this and thinking that we were going to talk about this, I'm like, Amy's into none of these guys because none of them
Nope.
are dirty.
None of them are dirty. None of them have a guitar in their hand.
No,
You know
no.
who I was into last season? I really liked Zach. I didn't like him at first,
I liked Zach.
but then I grew to like him. And I also, season 3, really liked Sal. Sal was my
Mm.
boy. Mhm.
I was over Sal eventually because it was too much singing.
Yeah, I was here for
But
the guitar.
I
Mhm.
understand. I understand how that can happen. But yeah, I think Izzy is hot, 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 hot,
You're
hot.
not alone. A lot of people in Backdoor Friends are crushing on Izzy. You are
I
not
think
alone.
he is a
Mhm.
hottie McHot hot, and I would not be sad to look at him.
He's
He's
too
a mess though.
muscular for me. I don't know.
He's like a little too he's not pretty though. Like Chris is pretty. Chris Fox is pretty.
Chris is pretty.
Chris is pretty. But yeah, no, he's not pretty. He is handsome, and I'm here for that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah.
So my little summary is Izzy connected with Lydia first, but soon
Yes.
realized she was cuckoo a little bit. He got rid
Ooh,
of her pretty quick.
and she was devastated.
Devastated. I just want someone to love me for me. Like you
Over
talked to
and
this guy for a
over and over.
day.
Right.
All right.
Ugh.
Then he connected with Johnny. And, he had a fiance in the past. Johnny was married before. So they seemed to kind of make a connection there. He confessed to Johnny that he was Jehovah's Witness. Now, would that be a deal breaker for you? That in the past he was. He grew up that way. He's not now.
No, that's not a deal breaker
Me
for me.
either. Me either.
If you've come out of that, I wouldn't be with someone who's a practicing Jehovah's Witness right now.
Oh, Todd's not a Jehovah's Witness?
Todd is in fact not a Jehovah's Witness. Shockingly, as there's a great deal of Judaica in this house. No, he is not a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, no, that would not be being a current one would be a deal breaker for me. But we need, once you finish talking about Izzy and all of his people, we need to go deep on Johnny.
Okay. So Johnny was more than happy to help him put up a Christmas tree. However, her past love life was too much drama for Izzy, as she shared she was in love with an addict who overdosed. She
Oh.
noted she wasn't sure if she would ever love someone the way she loved him, and that's what sealed the deal for Stacy.
Yeah, that saved him. That saved
Mhm.
Stacy. And I actually like him and Stacy together.
I don't hate Stacy.
I
I
don't hate
wanted
Stacey
to. I
either.
thought she was a Micah situation
No.
or Jessica, Messica, but
Jessica.
she's not.
No, and there are no mean girls back there. There's no mean girls
No,
in the
no,
girls'
I
quarters.
agree.
We
I
don't
agree.
have an Irina Micah situation.
Nope.
Not to say everyone's besties, but no one is obviously evil. I like
Well,
Stacy. The thing I liked best about Stacy is when she said to, was it Lydia? I think so, that, your past trauma teaches somebody, the past teaches
is a
people how to love
roadmap
you.
to how to love
To
you.
love you.
Not wait,
Yes.
what did she say? She said it's a roadmap, not a ugh, I forget. I
What did
forget, but you're right. That was
it
the
was
the
how to
best
love
part of
you.
what she said. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I okay, so we'll talk about Stacy. Let's
Yeah.
focus on Izzy. Okay, so what did you think about his connection with Johnny?
I struggle to understand it.
Okay.
Uh, to me, Johnny is such a huge walking red flag
Mm.
of mess and pain, and it's not because she was in love with an addict who overdosed.
No.
It's because she hasn't dealt with the fact that she was in love with an addict who overdosed.
And when
It
she's making statements like he was the only and that was not the person she was married to,
Right.
which Izzy was correct in sussing that out. He's like,
Yeah.
"Wait a minute.
Wait, whoa,
Was
whoa,
that
whoa,
the
whoa,
per"
whoa.
cuz she was like, "That's the only person I love." So basically he's like, "So you married someone you were not in love with. And are
Yeah,
you going to do that to me?"
right.
He has every right to ask that question.
He does have every right to ask that question, and I completely understand how she married someone to whom she was not in love
Of course,
after
of
this.
course it happens.
It happens, and she was young as hell,
Mhm.
and
Of course.
she's just 30 now.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
she was baby. It's
And I'm not saying like he's asking her to judge her. I think he's asking her and you could see it piecing together in his head, "Oh, she's not ready.
she's not
She's not
ready.
ready for this." Mm-mm.
No, if he had said, "Yeah, you know what? I did marry someone I wasn't in love with, and this is why, and this is the work I have done on myself to
Mhm.
recover and
Mhm.
heal myself from all of this," then she'd be fine, but she's not. She is a walking wound.
Yeah.
She is completely emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
She trauma dumps. She's emotionally slutty, and
Mhm.
she's
Mhm.
sh I think she annoys me so much because I see a lot of myself, my former
Oh,
self
okay.
in that.
Yeah.
But she said her mother said to her, "I don't think you should be in a relationship, honey."
I know. I
Your
know.
mother says that to
I
you?
I know. And
Yikes.
maybe mom so this happens to me a lot with my mother.
Okay.
Maybe mom said it with the best of intentions, like, "Now might not be a good time for a relationship with you. Maybe you should wait."
Right.
What does she hear
She heard
versus
she's
what is said?
unlovable. She heard
Yes.
she's
Yes.
unlovable and
Because
that
I
she's too
misconstrue
broken.
things all the time from my mother. Like, "Oh,
Sure.
yeah. Mhm.
You mean like when my father said to me one day, if you had stayed the course, you could have been somebody like Rachel Maddow?
Mm, okay." Or like
I
when
could have
my
been
mother
somebody.
like when my mother gave me for Christmas in front of everyone a gift certificate to get electrolysis on my chin hair. Mhm,
Oh,
mhm, mhm,
oh,
mhm,
like
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 that.
w like when my mother talking about a friend of hers whose nephew was an Olympic skater said to me, "I'm so glad you were never good at anything."
Mm. Yep, yep, just
Yep,
like all
just
of
like
that.
that. Okay. I mean, these are just random examples
Yes, yes, or
that we're pulling out of the e
when my grandmother said, "You have such a beautiful face."
Oh,
Mhm,
yeah, mhm.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm,
I've
yeah.
had a very beautiful face for a lot of my life.
Me
Yeah,
too, me
it's
too.
great, it's great.
If only, right? If only. Mhm. So
Oh,
anyway, so okay, the thing about Izzy is I wanted to hate him
I
because
did
there's
too.
always like this hot, playboy, fuckboy, whatever. I
Right.
wanted to hate him, but I don't.
I don't think he's a fuckboy.
I don't really hate him. Now, the one thing I did think about was after he dumps Johnny,
Yeah,
Johnny confesses her love for Chris to him.
right.
She's like, "I really did love Chris, blah, 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 but he was my safe option. I wanted to do something different." Izzy gets that wrong
Yeah,
when he's telling Chris about this, and he
yeah. They both
flips
they
it.
he did.
He flipped it, and I think Chris made his decision on that,
Think so too. I
and
think so
that's a
too.
problem.
And here's the thing, Johnny absolutely should pick Chris over Izzy.
100%.
And Izzy should pick Stacy over Johnny. They're much better match. The fact that she's like, "Well, all I did was laugh and stuff with Chris and I was so comfortable." I'm like, "Yes.
Yes.
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 That's what you want. You
Mhm,
want to
mhm.
be comfortable with this person. You want to A huge part of the reason I'm in love with my husband is because he makes me laugh all the freaking time.
I agree 100%. I remember when Timmy and I first started dating, like, and I've told him this. I knew Timmy my whole life and I was not attracted to him.
Mhm.
And I remember thinking, this is not gonna work. Like, I don't see him like that. And
Yeah.
then as I saw what a kind human he was and what a
Yeah.
good person, my attraction grew to him.
Right.
And now I think he's super hot, but I did not feel that way.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You grow to think the person is attractive by how they treat you. You're right.
Yes. Yes. And yeah, she was picking somebody else who was not the right fit for her yet
Mhm.
again.
Mhm.
And she's gonna keep doing it and doing it and doing it until she gets a therapist. She does not need pods. She needs a therapist. And she
Yes,
needs
I
a
agree.
lot of time with that therapist. And this is not an indictment. I don't think she's a bad person. I
No,
just
me
think
either. Me
she's
either.
not ready for
No,
this. And
I agree.
the this is not the stage upon which she should have put herself because
Agreed.
the internet is going to be awful to her
Mhm. Mhm.
and this is not going to go well for her at all. And I think she's going to come back a little Glenn Close spoil your bunny
Ooh.
situation.
Well, we know
Sh-
she does come back in Mexico, so,
Right. She shows up again and I don't
Mhm.
think that's good cuz she's going to be boiling someone's bunny.
Me either,
I
and
think she's going to boil Stacy's bunny.
she's saying to Izzy, like, "You were on topic, blah, blah, blah," and I'm like, "Have you seen the smoke show he's with? Like, this
Right.
is not happening."
No, and
Mm-mm.
he doesn't
That's
even
like
know
a
what a
real
smoke show
thing
she
she
is.
could pull, what's his name? Paul from Micah. Not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Mm-mm.
Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words.
So, let's talk about Johnny and Chris for 1 second. So,
Okay.
Chris was head over heels for Johnny, immediately liked her. When he shared with Johnny that he was into her, she said that was sweet.
Yeah.
He also shared a very dramatic story of pretty much being raped as a
Not
teen
pretty much
in
being raped,
Mexico.
being raped.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
that I wanted to just go give him a hug because that was
I know.
and
Now, I'm
I
hot
don't
for Chris, you could see this, right?
yeah,
He's
you're
my
totally
type.
yeah,
Of the guys, he's more my type.
he's super cute.
Mhm.
He's probably my number 2 of all these men.
Yeah.
I I think it's important that we talk about sexual assault happening to men because we don't talk about it very much. And I
Well,
think for men it go ahead.
go ahead. Even in this, summary, they wrote that he was sexually assaulted and put it in quotes. No, he was raped.
No, he was
Yeah,
raped.
you're right.
He was absolutely raped. Like, let's
Mhm,
not make it sound nicer
mhm.
than it
If
was.
if the gender roles were reversed, we would say she was raped.
Absolutely, and he was raped, and I think for men, it is so much more complicated when they're raped and they have a physical response. Like, they're able
Yes.
to perform.
Yes.
He's a 17-year-old boy with a girl climbing on top of him.
Yeah,
Whether he
yeah,
wanted it or not,
yeah.
his hard wiring is gonna take over.
Mhm.
Emotionally, he and physically, he did not want this, and that's a horrible way to have sex for the first time.
I know, I feel so
Or the
bad for
100th
him.
time. Not even it's
Right,
never good, but, like
I know. I just really thought he was very sweet. I
I
really
did
did. I
too.
really
I think
liked him.
he seems like a good person.
Mhm. So once Johnny was dumped by Izzy, she wanted to get back together with Chris, but Izzy and Chris compared notes, and Johnny had told them. See, they have this wrong in the summary. Johnny each told them they were the safe choice. That's not what she said.
No. No.
Her
She said
story was consistent. He got it wrong.
he did. Chris was the safe choice
Mhm. Mhm.
in her
So,
mind.
armed with that knowledge, blah blah blah. Okay, so Chris let her know, like, I'm choosing myself today. I'm walking out of here.
Yeah, and he's like, "Maybe there's something for us in the future, but not today." And I'm like, "Good for you.
Good for you. Good for
Good for
you.
you. Don't ever be someone's consolation prize.
I agree. I agree.
None of us
Okay.
should be a consolation prize."
Do you want to go to Uche and Aaliyah or Milton and Lydia first?
Oh, fucking A, man.
Let's just do the Uche and Aaliyah and start
Okay.
talking about this. So these two hit it off over their love of poetry. He does spoken word. He's real cute, but he is such a douchebag. It is such a turn off to me.
He is such a horrible,
Mhm.
horrible,
Mhm.
horrible person.
I agree.
I had listened to Matt and Jake talk about this. They are I think Jake's assessment of him of being very similar to Patrick Bateman in American Psycho is not too
Yes.
dissimilar.
Yeah.
He is wearing a meat suit, walking around the planet trying to pretend like he's a human, and he is a destroyer of women. Like,
And we know he's driving a Tesla right there.
we know
No. Poor Todd. I'm
poor
just
Todd
teasing. Todd, I'm teasing.
doesn't listen to us, but poor Todd and his Tesla. But
Oh.
yeah, oh my God.
My
Now,
husband's gonna be driving one soon too. I told you he's getting stupid Cybertruck, so I get
yeah,
you. I
yeah.
get you. I get
And
you.
I'm all about electric cars. We
Mhm,
just hate
mhm.
Elon Musk. So
Yes.
anyway, he is, and at first I thought he was charming. When the two of them were meeting, when he and Aaliyah were starting to hit it off, I was like, okay,
Yeah, when
okay,
he's talking
okay.
about spoken word poetry, which I also once performed, I love spoken word. It's like my jam, my bag. Love it.
This does not shock me in the least.
Yes, I love it. Like I
Yeah.
could go listen to it 24/7. Love it.
Okay. Well, I
Mhm.
like the fact that he was like, I'm into poetry
Mhm.
and all of this stuff. And like they bonded over there. She's obviously very accomplished. She's an ICU nurse in the
Mhm.
cardiovascular with surgery. I mean, she's in the big leagues of surgery.
And
She
he's a
loves
lawyer, right?
He's a lawyer who owns a software company, he said. I'm
Mhm.
curious what
Mhm.
that is. Um, like they are both go get 'em people.
Yes.
They're a little power couple in terms of
Mhm.
just like career and all of that. So that seemed great.
But then
And
what
then
happened, Amanda? He asked her if she ever cheated before, and what happened?
this motherfucker,
This
this
motherfucker.
motherfucker.
He brought her to tears like that.
Oh, and then just
Mhm.
kept
Mhm.
tearing her apart
Mhm.
over and over and over till
And then this
she
was not his first rodeo.
no, he's done this to women thousands of
Mhm.
times.
Mhm.
And this was a cutting, like, cross-examination. Like, you can tell he's a lawyer. He knows
Yes.
how to, like,
Yes.
go in and
Yes.
bing, bing, bing. You know what? The older I get, the more I feel like the world is much more gray than it is black and white.
I agree 100%.
And while cheating is not it's not the healthy way to
It's not
handle a
ideal.
problem. It's not the healthy way to handle a problem. It's the way
Mhm.
a lot of people handle problems.
Yeah.
And she did it one time. She broke up with the guy 3 months later. She
I
had
don't
told him
know.
for
I think she was changing details as it was happening because she's trying to
maybe,
defend herself.
maybe, and
And she shouldn't be in that position.
she shouldn't have to
She
defend
could even
herself.
tell him, I could tell my husband anything.
Yeah.
And he would be like, okay, was that before we met? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. I could tell Todd anything, and he would wanna know if I told him a story like Aaliyah had, he would
Mhm.
want to know, "What did I learn from it? What?"
Tell Todd you murdered somebody.
Wow, that's dark. Okay. I'll
And
report back.
secretly record it and put it in Backdoor Friends. Tell Todd that you were in a polygamous relationship.
Tell Todd I was married to Cody Brown at one point. Oh my god. I think that
Oh,
might be enough for Todd to leave me. I think he might be like, "No, no."
Tell Todd, listen, this is what you need to do. Don't be like, I don't know how to tell you this or what. I know you're going to think less of me, but I need to tell you.
Okay.
I kind of think Cody Brown's attractive. That's what you need to say.
He wouldn't believe me, and I couldn't get through that without laughing. So, anyway, he destroys her, and it is awful to watch. And the way he's like, "Well, I kissed someone myself, but I was 18 and I told her." Did you tell him?
Meanwhile, he knows that his ex-girlfriend is in this pod with
Right.
her and that he fucked her 3 months ago.
Right.
So the balls on this guy
Yeah.
to be dressing her down for this while he has the biggest mixed secret of secreties.
Yes. And I'm really surprised they didn't pull the two of them out.
I
That
know, me
this
too.
ruins the experiment.
Maybe they just wanted to
And
see like, hey, let's see how this plays out.
let's see what happens here. We didn't see this one coming. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens. And then when I went back and rewatched it, knowing what I knew, to see
Mhm.
how Lydia was with
Mhm. Comforted
Aaliyah
her.
and
When
was
I say comforted her, it was quite
oh,
aggressive. It wasn't
it
really a
was.
comfort.
No, it was, you know,
I
don't
was
let
put off by that at first, were you?
I was like,
Okay, okay.
"Get
So
out
we
of her
both picked up on
face."
something was weird. Okay.
Well, I think Lydia's weird. I
Yes.
think Lydia's nuts.
But it was a little too aggressive. It
It
was
was.
like
You and I are the same person. You and I are just alike. We're exactly
mhm,
alike.
mhm.
He's too smart. He should know better. He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that.
Mhm.
Talking about him in a way that indicated in retrospect that she knew him because she did.
I think she was trying to get Aaliyah to break up with him.
I think so too. I don't think she wants anyone to have him if she can't have him.
Because here's what I think
She
happened.
might be the bunny boiler.
This is just a hypothesis. I have no, knowledge of this, but I will bet you any amount of money he broke up with Lydia because he wasn't ready for a relationship.
Mm,
And then 3 months
mhm.
later, he's on Love Is Blind trying to find a wife.
Right,
And what does that say to her?
right.
You know what I mean?
He is a garbage person,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I cannot wait to see how he behaves through this whole thing because it is not gonna be pretty.
It's not gonna be pretty,
And
and
good for fucking Aaliyah for being like, "I'm out," except we see
yeah,
her
yeah,
again
yeah.
and they meet.
I don't think this is gonna be a Zach and Bliss situation.
I don't think, at least I hope it's not. At
I
least I
hope it's
really hope
not
it's not.
either.
I don't want
Listen,
him to be with anybody. He's not safe.
here's the thing about this experiment. We all know I have bad takes about everyone. For Christ's sake, I thought Sarper was a decent human being. Okay, Jesus, he's practically like a golem, like a nightmare person. I don't know. Um, I have realized that my problem is I never think that good people are bad. I always think bad people are good. And
Ooh, that's something interesting.
it's because I just trust people and give people the benefit of the doubt, and it's a terrible thing to do, but I just do, and I'm
This is
easily fooled.
this is why I have to save you from the cult.
I know. So I could see me being in the pods and choosing the wrong person 100% and
Sure.
being like, "Oh, wait a minute, I shouldn't have chose this person. I should have chose this." Like I could see that happening, and that is honestly what I think happened with Zach and Bliss.
Yeah, yeah,
Like he was really torn. We saw that, and then
yeah.
he chose one way, and I think he immediately regretted it, and whatever.
And I think
So
he
I
chose
I
Arena
do
because he
think
didn't
that
feel like he was good.
happens.
Yeah, I
I
think he
do
chose
think that
Arena
happens.
because
Yeah.
he didn't feel like he was good enough for Bliss, is really what
Yes.
it boiled down to.
Yes. But
Uche is
that
not
is
that.
not this, because Aaliyah I was saying, "Nope, nope." Well, first of all, when he was judging her, I'm like, "Nope, nope, nope,
Nope,
nope, nope, done."
you're out, girl. Do not let this man make you feel bad about yourself.
But
Do
let's
not.
talk about that scene on the couch where she tells Lydia, "I know about you 2 seeing each other," and Lydia begins to, what I call, planting her flag and saying, "I know more about him than you do. I have
Mhm.
fucked him more than you have. I like him more than you have."
Right.
And she starts to tell her all the little things about him.
My dog likes his dog will like
Mhm.
me,
I
like
picked out the favorite toy that the dog has.
right.
Everything was, I'm staking my claim.
Uh-huh.
It
I
was
can tell you
interesting.
everything about his apartment, it's amazing. I can
Mhm,
tell you everything
mhm,
about his car, I can tell you everything about this man,
mhm.
and
I met his friends,
his friends are
everything.
great, they
Mhm.
loved me, like,
That served no other purpose than to say, "He's mine."
"He's mine, and I'm gonna make you feel bad," and she is not a good friend, and poor Aaliyah. I need Aaliyah to realize Lydia is not her friend at all.
This drives me nuts. This is a pet peeve of mine, even though I do it myself. When people are like, "We're best friends," and they only,
Right.
like, have known each other for 2 days. I felt that way with you, to be honest. I immediately liked you, but we
Same.
weren't on a dating competition.
No, no, we were not
Like,
competing for the same man.
we were in a group where we knew we had a
Common.
mutual common, yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is not that.
No.
And I hate when these 2 are like, "We're best friends." No, no, they're not best friends.
No, you're not.
They might like each other,
Mhm,
but
mhm. You're
Lydia,
not best
oh,
friends. She oh, Lydia, she is so out of her mind nuts, but not in the way that, like, Johnny's nuts. She's
no.
a different kinda nuts. She felt like she felt so frenetic to me,
Yes.
and I felt like she would have said yes to Gollum. She would have said yes to Freddy Krueger if that meant she got to continue on this
So if
show.
we put Sarper in there, she would have said yes.
She would have said yes to
I slept with
Sarper.
2,500 women. Come here, let me weigh you.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
and she's got a banging body, and I'm sure for Sarper, she's too fat. So anyway,
I can't with him.
Sarper can. Oh, wait till you see this girl. You're going to be sent so over the edge. It'll be. If you could record yourself watching this, that would really make my day. But yet her energy is so frenetic, and she's so as soon as someone rejects her, she's immediately like, I just want someone to love
I just want someone to
me."
love me. Like, she just keeps saying that. I just want someone to love me.
Well, first of all, we all want someone to love you
I know.
us. That doesn't make you weird. The walking wound that you are that is trying to be a black hole and suck somebody's love into you, that's where the problem lies.
So,
And if she doesn't stop pushing her hair from her ear all the way over,
she's doing the swoop.
she's doing the swoop from
The
like her
Mary Brown
shoulder.
swoop?
It's worse than Mary Brown because it's all of it. It's not even just 2/3 of it. It is all of it. And I want to shave her head. I need her to stop doing this because it's like her hair swoop is her like emotional support animal. Like she just keeps petting it. I need her to stop.
So she and Milton immediately bonded over their love of metamorphic rock.
As one does.
And again, it's hard to reconcile what I'm calling the two sides of Lydia.
Yeah.
Like, you have the Lydia that is a super smart geologist.
Right.
And then you have the Lydia that's like, love me, please. It's like,
right.
I don't know how these two things are the same.
But they are. She's clearly, appears to be very professionally doing well. She has a master's degree in geology, which I sure as hell couldn't do. Science, it's too sciencey. And the fact that they're talking about metamorphic rock and getting into it, and he's an engineer, like they have a shared.
They were more than
career
getting
interest?
into this rock talk.
They were really into it.
He was boning up over it. I'm just going to put that out there.
But this was the only saucy talk they had. This was the only time I felt they were connected was about rocks.
Oh, are we going to cut that rock
Oh
and
my
put it
God.
under my microscope?
Oh my God, that
It
mic.
was so wild. It was so wild.
The fact that he used his particle microscope or whatever it was as foreplay, as his Spanish fly to get this woman into his house.
You know who'd be in this? You know who that would work on?
No.
My sister Jenny.
Oh.
100%. She'd be like, yeah, I'm coming over to look at that microscope. She'd be all into this, where I'd be like,
no.
Well,
I'm going with spoken word guy who's an asshole.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to go with the asshole, 100%.
Right.
I'm going to choose wrong, 100%.
Thank God you let Timmy happen.
Yes. Thank God. Yeah.
Thank God. You need someone to save you from yourself.
But Timmy has just enough asshole in him to keep me interested.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just enough.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, that's not overwhelming.
No, but he has such kind eyes.
He does have kind eyes. He does.
Yeah, he does have kind eyes.
So,
and I have just enough asshole to keep you coming back for more. So that's we have that in common.
So, do you think Lydia is going to take one look at Milton and his hair
and the mustache? The hair and the mustache are unfortunate. And I think Milton seems sweet. He's just very young.
He's 24 and he is, I don't want to sound, I'm not, this is going to sound bad. Everybody's going to cancel me. Okay.
Go ahead.
He's too tall. I can't be with someone who's that tall.
Well, you're a little meatball. That's why.
I am 5'1". I can't be with somebody who's 6'5". Come on.
I think he's probably closer to 6'7". Like I can't wait to see him standing up next to somebody.
Yeah.
Because I dated briefly a guy in college who was 6'8".
No.
And I'm 5'8".
Okay, so that's like the difference between me and Timmy.
Right.
Because I'm 5'1" and he's 6 foot.
Yeah. And it was one of the few times in my life I ever felt little next to somebody, which was kind of a nice feeling because I've been this tall since I was 12. But I think she's going to take one look at him and she is not going to be into him.
Can we talk about his hair for 1 second?
Sure.
I just want to say that is a very 80s style. I don't know what he's doing. It's a Lionel Richie kind of look. I don't know what's happening. He's a good-looking dude, he needs to do something else with that hair. That's all I wanna
I
say.
feel like he would look better if his hair were shorter. I like
Mhm,
that it's natural, but I think just a shorter crop for him would be better,
mhm.
and I think he would be better with a goatee than the mustache.
Yeah, yeah, it's a real '80s look. It's a
It's a
real
real
'80s
'80s
choice.
look. Yeah,
Yeah.
he really does look like Lionel Richie in the '80s.
Yes, he does. He looks just like him. Mhm.
Yeah,
He could be his clone.
his clone. Yeah,
Mhm.
she's gonna see him and not be into him at all.
And then
I
she's gonna see Izzy.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. This is
Mhm,
not going to
mhm.
go
'Cause
well.
don't forget, Izzy was the original heartbreaker of
That's
Lydia.
right.
Mhm.
She is
I
gonna
mean,
see
we
Hottie
know
McHot
Uche's
Hot.
her type.
Oh
I know.
god. She's a mess. She and Johnny both drove me crazy, but for different reasons.
Mhm.
But she is not well, and she is going to destroy Milton.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, as soon as Izzy wasn't into her, she's like, "Well, then I love Milton." Like,
Yes.
no, you don't.
Yes.
You just wanna
No.
keep going. Like I
Mhm.
said,
Mhm.
Freddy Krueger could have been on the other side of that wall, and she would have been like, "I'm in." When she went up to the wall and she's like, "I just wanna hug you. I'm pressing myself like I want you s" No, you don't.
She was it oh, now I'm getting confused. Hold on. Um, I'm mixing my people up.
Okay.
She was Yeah, it was her. She was literally talking Milton into proposing to her.
Yes, she
She was
was.
selling him on it.
Yes.
And he's kinda asking questions like, "Are you sure this is
Or
right?" He's questioning, and I'm screaming at him, "Go with your gut, dude. Go with your gut is telling you no. Your gut is telling you no." But
run away.
he pushed through, and he proposes, and, eh,
And there's a reason we didn't see their reveal
reveal.
yet.
Mhm, mhm.
Oh, Friday
So
cannot come fast enough. I need to see this reveal.
let's talk about Stacy for 1 second because I will say this, like I said, I wanted to hate Stacy.
Mhm.
I don't hate her. I
No.
don't hate her. I think she kept her cards close to the vest. She never gloated. Like, you know how Micah gloated about her situation?
Yep.
Stacy knew that she was Izzy's top in
Yep.
competition with Johnny, but she never let her know it. She
Nope.
never said anything about it. You know what I mean? She was very classy, I feel like, in the way she played the game.
I think she was super smart not to tell anybody who she was into.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's the way you play the game.
Yes,
'Cause
I
at the end of
agree.
the day, this is a game that we're playing
Yes.
too. Like, it's
Yes.
not just normal dating. It is a game where um, you have to outwit people in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she outwitted everybody.
Yes, she did.
She, and she just seemed lovely. She
She
seemed like a
did.
lovely
Like,
person.
at first, I was kinda like, "Eh, she's one of these because she was saying, like, "Oh, Botox, blah, blah, blah," and I was like, "Oh, is she one of these
Right.
people?" But she's really not.
No.
She's lovely.
Yeah.
And then when Lydia came back and she was, like, freaking out, she was perfect in the way she handled it. Like, she was
Mhm.
very like, "Pull your shit together. You
Right.
got this.
Yep.
You gotta give him time to think about." Like, she was very logical, and I feel
Yep.
like that was what Lydia needed in that second.
Yeah. She seems like she has her head on straight.
But here's my question, when Lydia came back and she was all upset and Stacy comforted her, I was like, "Where's Aaliyah?" And I was wondering, did Aaliyah leave at that by that point?
Oh, interesting.
Because why
Yeah.
wouldn't Aaliyah be there to comfort her bestie? You know
Right,
what I
unless
mean?
she was in the room with Uche at the time too. We
Oh,
don't
maybe,
you
maybe.
know, I think they keep these people well, we know they keep them up all hours of the night. It's supposedly
It's
nuts. Though
rough.
those suites are lovely. I would like
Yeah,
to hang out in those suites.
yeah.
Um, I worry actually, you know what? I don't worry about Stacy. I worry about Izzy and Stacy. I
Oh,
don't
I
worry
think
about
they're gonna be
her.
fine.
I hope they're fine. I think they have the best chance of any of these couples.
Yeah.
Looking
And
at our list of couples, they have
that
the
brings
best.
me to the very premise of the show, which is Love blind, but yet they put, like, 30 hot people together.
I've thought a lot about this
Like,
for a
the
long
odds of
time.
a smoke show is gonna walk through those doors, the odds
It's
are
real
pretty high.
high. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not putting regular people like you and me on
No,
this.
no. I'm not in those pods.
No, and I think about this a lot, like, the season with Alexa and Brennan. I
Mhm.
liked her at first. She her post Love Is Blind version, I do
Is
not care for her.
terrible.
She's
Mhm.
obnoxious, but I
Mhm.
liked her on
I
the
liked
show.
her first too.
And but the fact that they kept she's a large woman. I'm like,
No, she's not.
she's like a 12.
Danielle was the same way. Remember Nick and Danielle? And Danielle
Yes.
had lost weight and was talking a lot about her insecurities and stuff like that. And I think they were casting her as, see, we cast people of different sizes. No,
No,
Danielle's like
you
a
don't.
size 10.
Right.
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. No, no. So the
So
thing is they can't put non non-attractive, non-conventionally attractive people in here because I just think it would turn out badly, and I think people would get really hurt by it.
yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
People would get really
Yeah.
hurt because we
Yeah,
would have the
like
reveal.
if those doors flip open and Izzy sees this little meatball coming at him, he's gonna be like,
Yes,
eh.
maybe he likes meatballs. We don't know.
And then Meatball's gonna go cry in the corner.
And then Uche will be there with his spoken word poetry, and then
Yes.
you'll be decimated.
And yeah, I'll be in that toxic cycle that I so craved as a 20-year-old.
Oh no, no, no.
All right, girl. Any other thoughts before we wrap?
I'm really looking forward to this. I want to see what happens with Uche and Aaliyah. I hope she destroys him.
Oh, me too.
I hope he can never see the light of day again. I do think Izzy and Stacy will be okay. I think they'll have some bumps of getting to know each other and stuff, but I think they'll be okay.
What about
JP,
Taylor and JP? It's the
and they're
Nick
just
and
boring.
Danielle. Remember we thought Nick and Danielle were boring, and then she went ape shit on their honeymoon. We were like, "Oh, this is gonna be good."
And then she comes out in hot dog costumes.
Yes,
Oh
yes,
god, the hot
yes,
dog costumes.
yes.
And she puts what did she make him wear? Like a corn cob costume or
A corn
something?
cob. Yes,
Yeah,
a
and he's
corn
just
cob.
sitting there in this costume like, "What is happening to my life? How did this happen?"
They've
Oh,
divorced, right? They
yeah.
divorced. Everybody did.
Everyone from that season did. I think at this point, the only ones from season 1 and 2 there's no one from season 2 together. Season 1
Yes, there is.
who?
Um, oh fuck. Messica, the guy she liked.
No, well, she married someone else not on the show.
Right, but the guy that she liked. There was the triangle.
Oh, right.
And they use
Right.
his last name. What's his last name?
Oh, Barnett.
Barnett. They're
That's
together.
their first season.
Their first season?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Because
you're
we
right.
have
Second
Barnett,
season was Depty and Shane
yeah,
and okay.
Jake, yeah, and all those people.
Yes.
So
Okay.
season 1, we have Barnett and Amber, and they're
And
together.
Lauren and Cameron.
Cameron were
I
the,
mean, precious, precious things.
must be protected at all costs. One thing
Mhm.
Todd was like in and out as I was watching this the other night. He's not into the show, but he's, if he'll be like, "Oh, what are we looking at?"
Mhm.
One thing I found interesting, and it seemed like giving Lauren and Cameron the exception, people really pair off racially.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Think about it.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
even Shake and Deep Tea.
Mhm. That
You know,
motherfucker. That
oh, the
motherfucker.
motherfucker. He can go
He
fuck
is I
right
think
off.
he is the worst of any season.
He was such
Can
a
I put
monster.
you on my shoulders at a music festival? How about you fuck off and I rip your dick off and shove it down your throat at a music festival?
At a music festival. I will climb you like a tree, and on my way, I will pull a branch right off and shove it down your
Snap it right
throat.
off.
What he did to Deep Tea, because Deep Tea was so incredibly lovely. Have you ever listened to her podcast with Natalie?
Yes, and it's pretty good. And
It
I
is pretty
like
good.
Natalie.
I like those two. Those two were
Mhm.
my favorites out of
Yeah.
that season,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that they really seem to have made a nice friendship with each other. But
The
yeah,
injustice of that season was that Shane and Natalie had some huge blow up
and
and
we didn't
we
see
didn't
it.
see it. Jesus Christ. You had one job, Kinetic Television or whatever the
Get
fuck you are. One
Chris
job.
Chris Cologne, whatever your name
God.
is, get it together.
They do
Match
some Married at First Sight too, like because it's the same production company.
right.
There'll be like something happens. There was like one of the girls freaked out on a plane and it like turned her husband off completely and that changed their relationship. We had no
Oh, we
footage
did
of the plane freak out. No footage.
This would not happen on Matt Sharp's
No,
watch.
Matt Sharp would have cameras embedded everywhere. He'd have one of those producers flying the plane if he had to.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Exactly. No, this would not happen on Matt Sharp's watch. But yeah, it, it is interesting to me though. They all pair off racially,
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
you
Mhm.
know? With the exception of Izzy and Stacy, because he's his Latinx. I
Oh,
think he
I thought
said
he
he
was
was from
Lebanese.
no, I think he said he's from Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
he and Lydia spoke Spanish a little bit because she was
Okay.
like, "I'm Puerto
Okay.
Rican." He's like, "My family's Mexican." Um, but, he that's it.
Okay.
But otherwise, it really does seem
Yeah.
that people pair off racially, and I don't know what that says.
So
I
Alexis
think
and
it says
Brennan,
something, but I don't know what that
she
says.
is she Lebanese? Is somebody Lebanese? Can someone be Lebanese?
Someone on the show from Lebanon.
Alexis is something because her dad is like real hot Lebanese, I want to say.
Israeli, I believe.
Israeli. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Alexis and Brennan are still together. Cameron and Laura, Amber and Barnett. And is there anyone else? Oh, Zach and Bliss.
Zach and Bliss,
Mm-hmm.
and from the last season, there's a bunch of people. Zach and Bliss, Brett and why can't I think of Brett's wife's name? Who was
I
so Brett last season he worked at Nike.
hot.
Hot, gorgeous couple.
It's coming to me now. He's super hot. I forget her name, but yes, they're together.
Right, and then Kwame and Chelsea.
Kwame and Chelsea could not believe that worked out, but it did.
I know.
Mhm.
I have a lot of thoughts on Chelsea. I really liked her at first, and
I
then she
did
got
too.
annoying, but I
I
still
think
kind of like her.
I think she's a ton of fun, and I think
Yeah,
she has a ton of money.
yeah.
I mean, her family had a
That
house
house,
right on the Puget Sound, right, because they're
something, or in a big lake or something. That house
Kwame was
was
like, I'm no dummy. I'm gonna ride
right.
this out."
Right, I'm gonna stick with this chick. That house was easily a $10 million house.
Easily. Yes.
Easily.
Yeah.
Particularly in Pacific Northwest
Yeah.
prices, that's easily a $10 million house. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and she's got a good job and, like,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
he's no dummy, but they okay, there's a mixed race couple.
Yes, there you go.
Um,
Okay.
so, yeah, but
So
what's
we'll
interesting,
see.
remember Kwame wanted to go by Alex at first because that's what he goes as professionally because he didn't want
Yes.
people to know his race right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Mhm.
it's interesting.
I like Kwame. I never
I
hated
didn't
him.
Kwame,
Yeah. But
I don't
Brett
quite
was the hot one. I gotta find out the wife's name.
okay. Yeah,
What
because
was it?
she's
Love is Blind season 4, right?
season 4, yeah, Brett and I keep wanting to say Rebecca, but I know that's not right.
Tiffany?
Tiffany.
Mhm. I love them.
I love
Love
them.
them. Mhm.
They
I
are
love
they are
him. I love his story.
I do
I love
too.
him. He's super
They
hot. She's super hot.
they are Lauren and Cameron-esque to me. They've
Mhm.
risen to that
Mhm.
level of like, oh, these 2 are solid and they're
Yes.
good and they're a good
Yes.
couple and they're
Yes.
interesting people on their own and all of
Yep.
that.
Yep.
But
Yep.
and we had minimal, thank God, of the Lachey's.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
Very minimal, and hopefully something has been done about Vanessa and her baby fever. Hopefully.
Yeah, like they need to, I don't know. They, you know what they should do? Oh my God, I just have a brilliant idea.
Oh god.
Brilliant.
Okay,
Bring
hit me.
Jessica Simpson in to go host with Nick Lachey.
That would be interesting.
Oh,
Um
Vanessa Lachey would be at home like just breaking shit and screaming.
It would only work if we could have cameras on Vanessa while this is happening.
Like a little picture in the corner.
Yes.
I don't know. No, I'm wrong. We need the big picture to be Vanessa and the small picture to be Jessica.
And see her like going into their china cabinets and just like throwing plates all over the house.
Oh, that would be
Oh
amazing.
my god.
That would be amazing. Because Vanessa Lachey doesn't allow anyone in her family to talk about Jessica Simpson, to buy any of her
No.
music, to watch anything she's ever done.
No, and
Yeah.
I never watched their show, but wasn't she the one who thought,
Chicken of the
Chicken of
Sea was
Chi
chicken.
Chicken, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cute. It was one of
Okay,
the first reality shows, and it was cute.
okay,
But,
and they
like,
were young and dumb at the
they
time.
were young. Yeah. Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see. I have to imagine 98 Degrees is gonna tour, given Backstreet Boys are touring and NSYNC is touring, like,
Yeah.
let them all. I mean, I didn't really ever like
I
any of those
was a little
bands.
too old for all of that. I
Too
was
old for
like
the boy
Metallica
bands.
was my jam and that kind of stuff.
I was an Indigo Girls person at that point, so.
I was obsessed over Rites of Passage. That album to me
Mm,
is just the soundtrack to my teenage life. Like it was everything
mm.
to me. Everything.
Swampophilia to me
Mm,
is my junior year of college, so yeah, I
okay.
understand.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was me more than boy bands.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. All right, girl. So here's what we have coming up, guys. This is replacing our Yellow Jackets. Amanda's like, do you want to do Yellow Jackets so we could do 95,000 episodes this week? I'm like, no, let's take a
No.
break. So we're
Yeah,
taking a break from
she was real clear. She was like, "Huh, no. Okay, moving on."
But stay tuned, stay subscribed because we do have Sister Wives coming at you, and 90-Day Last Resort will be coming out.
Yes, and we this week almost certainly will have a special guest.
99% sure.
That's why I said almost certainly. Not 100%.
Fingers
We've yet to
crossed.
confirm a
Fingers
time,
crossed. Yes.
but I think this will be good.
Guys, it's John Bon Jovi. It's Jessica Simpson.
Guys, it's Matt Sharp.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Hey, can you do me a favor and just scoot over and give us a 5-star review?
That would
We
be
can
great.
really use them. It helps us show up in search results, and it really helps out the podcast. If you can't subscribe to the Patreon, support the podcast, this is a great way to do it, and we appreciate it just as much.
Costs you not a penny, and a lot of people are finding us by searching for Sister Wives or Last Resort, so it does matter. So please,
absolutely.
And if you have a 1-star review, just email Amy.
Yeah, I'm used to a lot of criticism, so just send it my way. If
you're the mother of 2 teens,
and writers out there know what that's like. Like, this is trash, this is garbage. Just send it to me. I'll put it in my mental file. Okay. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening. You can find us on Instagram. All the links are in the show notes for our socials, and we'll see you back here soon. Thank you. Bye.
Take care, everyone.